Hey everybody, it's Ben, and I'm back once again with another video for you guys. Today I'll be reviewing Deadly Class, issue number 1. The series is written by Rick Remender, illustrated by Wes Craig, and coloured by Lee Loughridge, and is published by Image Comics. So our story starts out, and we are introduced to the time period, which is January of 1987 in San Francisco. And we're then introduced to our lead character and protagonist of this series, Marcus, who is a 14-year-old kid who's living on the streets. And you find out later as to why he's living on the streets and how he's come to be in this predicament at this stage in his life. And you find out that Marcus, his parents were killed, and he's been floating about from home to home for hostels and whatnot for young kids. And then at the age of 14, he finally left the last hostel or the last home he was in, and he's now living on the streets. Right away, the artwork and the colouring by Wes Craig and Lee Loughridge is absolutely fantastic. Now, up until this point, I'd never heard of Wes Craig until Deadly Class was announced. I first heard about it on CBR, and from reading a few interviews with Rick Remender, who's easily become one of my favourite writers these past couple of years, especially with his work on Uncanny X-Force, Venom, and now Uncanny Avengers from Marvel. Like I said, he's just become one of my top favourite writers these past few years. And Wes Craig just does some really fantastic stuff with the panel layouts and the page layouts as well. Particularly in this flashback sequence to where we find out that Marcus's parents were murdered, hence why he's been living on the streets ever since leaving the last home he was in. And there's a really great scene, again, with the great experimentation on Wes Craig's part, of experimenting with the page layouts and the panels as well, of an unfortunate assailant and a fellow homeless acquaintance of Marcus's, who is trying to steal his shoes and his backpack, but Marcus quickly resolves the situation, but he does give over his shoes to the fellow homeless guy before making his way to a soup kitchen to get something to eat. And at the same time, you have a real sense of despair with this kid, especially just as you follow him throughout the months in San Francisco, living on the streets. And you have a lot of inner monologue from him about the fact that his views on religion, his views on the fact that his parents were murdered, and the fact that he feels that he's paranoid because someone appears to be watching him. And we find out at this particular scene with the purple colour palette by Lee Loughridge that he goes to what looked like the end of a bridge beneath a river, and he's contemplating throwing himself off, and then this mysterious girl who we've seen panels of her tattoo in previous pages, she tells him not to jump, and he remembers the last words of his father telling him that life is, a mixture of opportunities, and you need to find the happiness in each of them. And so this is what stops him from throwing himself off the edge. And then we cut to November the 1st, which is the Day of the Dead in San Francisco. And there's a parade going on at the time. And you then find out that there are these, what seem to be corrupt cops after Marcus. And there's a really great chase scene that ensues between the cops and some mysterious fellow assailants of Marcus's, who are clearly trying to help him to get away from the corrupt cops. And again, with the really great panel layouts and the page layouts, Marcus is saved by the mysterious girl who we saw briefly on the bridge scene, telling him not to jump. And we found out that her name is Saya. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's S-A-Y-A. I hope you choose to pronounce that. And there's a great scene, like I said, of the two of them being chased by two cops in a police car on Maya's motorcycle. Again, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but there's a great scene where the girl that is helping him to escape on a motorcycle, where she jumps onto the fire escape temporarily while Marcus grabs hold of the handlebars, and she's easily able to take care of the two cops that are in pursuit in the car, as you can see from this really great little action scene here. And then unfortunately Marcus loses control of the bike, and he is forced to continue running away on foot. And again, speaking of really great uses of the panel layouts, like I've been saying throughout this video, this particular page on the left of Marcus being laid on the ground and his legs a bit screwed up, after the crash on the bike. Again, Wes Craig's artwork is absolutely fantastic, and I can't believe I haven't heard of this guy before until reading this series. Lee Loughridge is doing some fantastic stuff again on the colouring. I'm becoming quite the fan of Lee Loughridge as a colourist, particularly from his work with Peter David and Carmine DiGiamenco on All New X Factor right now, from Marvel's All New Marvel Now initiative, which he's doing fantastic work on there as well. And after a little shocking reveal, we get introduced to this mysterious old guy by the name of Master Lin, who is looking to recruit Marcus to become, and to train him to become a world-class assassin. And you find out that these mysterious assailants that have been helping Marcus to escape, they're all members of Master Lin's school, and they're all students of Master Lin's as well, including Maya, or Maya, however you choose to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. But eventually, Marcus is recruited into the assassins by Master Lin, and there's a great two-page spread at the end of Marcus being introduced and inducted into the King's Dominion School of the Deadly Arts, which is a really great looking school. It just looks awesome. It's underground, it's really just secretive, obviously nobody knows about it, but it's really, really cool, especially this double page spread, like I said at the end of the first issue. And there's a really great afterword by Rick Remender on the letters page with the cover for the next issue, which is out in February. Talking about the inspiration for this book, about how he's used some of his real life experiences, growing up in Phoenix as a kid, moving about a lot, and just growing up in high school during the time of the explosion of the punk scene, growing up, you know, having to make friends every few years because he and his family moved about a lot. And there's also some great conversation, or mention, sorry, of the creative process of this book, particularly from Rick working with Wes Craig and Lee Loughridge as well. Just images are just on fire right now with this series. They're just one of the best independent publishers out there right now, if not the best publisher in my opinion. The writing and the storytelling in this by Rick Remender is absolutely fantastic, along with the equally fantastic artwork of Wes Craig and the colouring of Lee Loughridge. If you're a fan of Rick Remender, if you're a fan of Image or indie comics, if you're a fan of the 1980s time period, punk rock, assassins, or you just want something really, really different but really fantastic to read, then I cannot recommend you check out Deadly Class highly enough. Like I said, Image has got another winner on their hands, and I cannot wait for issue 2 to come out in February. If I had to give this first issue a rating, I'd give it an absolute 5 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. And that about concludes this review video, guys. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs it down. As I always say for thumbs down the video, by all means, please feel free to tell me why in the comments below, or send me a private message. And if this is your first time here and you'd like to see more of my videos, by all means, please feel free to subscribe. And until next time, this is Scambit896 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.